It's me, Kelsey. I'm here, and of course, I'm from the channel Super Kicking It with Kelsey. I usually go live on YouTube, but I'm here on Twitch for my first ever stream on Twitch, and I appreciate all you guys watching right now. Claus011 is in the chat saying hi. Hi, how you doing? I am so excited to be streaming here. Hopefully everything looks and sounds okay. I'm really pumped up, and actually, so not only is this my first stream on Twitch ever, it's actually my first stream in like 8 months, period, because I haven't streamed in quite a while. So I'm really kind of rusty, but also excited to be getting started and talking pop culture with you guys again. Because I know a lot of you guys are followers from my YouTube channel who so sweetly and so kindly came on over here and followed me here. So I appreciate you guys, especially that you came and followed. Like, that means so much to me. Hope you all have been doing well. I know it's been a flippin' terrible time in the world in general. Like, COVID, man. COVID. 2020, actually, not just COVID. Flippin' 2020. Hurricane, I was talking about this with my friend Catherine. We did like a Halloween horror movie wrap-up video, and it's on my YouTube channel right now if you guys want to check it out. That's at Super Kicking It with Kelsey on YouTube. Kelsey is spelled Kelsi. And yeah, we talked about the hurricane that hit here like the week of Halloween. Lost power. Oh. Like, why? Hurricanes usually don't hit that late. But it's 2020, so I told Catherine, like, yeah, it's just 2020. It's all you have to say. That's why it hit. It's the year that caused it. Also, global warming, I think. But that's another story. And we're here to have a cheery stream, not a serious stream. Like, oh, the problems. No. We're going to be talking about cheery stuff, fun stuff, and all that. So I'm eager to get started. What are we going to do on this stream, you might be wondering? Well, I've got some fun things planned. I'm going to answer some questions that people left me on Twitter. That's one thing we're going to do. Also, I just got a new magnet haul. I went to this place, I don't know if it's like, yeah, it's like a secondhand store because it's called Second and Charles. So, yeah, it's a secondhand store. Some people come there and sell stuff, but they also sell new stuff that's like brand new. And I just got a whole bunch of new magnets. And if you guys see behind me a little bit, I collect magnets. So I got a few new additions I can't wait to show off. Also, my good friend Burke, who I just hung out with the other day, brought me some VHSs. So, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's okay, Nails. Nails is joining us in the chat. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining, Nails. Love ya. You're the best, and thanks for always supporting me no matter what. You're so awesome. Love ya. Again, we're gonna show magnets that I just got, VHSs that my friend Burke gave me, and I think the thing I'm most excited about doing tonight with you guys is I flippin' got I have to reach down to get it, a Nick box to unbox. I almost dropped it. I'm really excited about this one. I always get them late. I'm sure there's plenty of other people who unboxed theirs already, but I literally just got this in the mail yesterday. They're still going to my parents' house. So my dad texted me and said, hey, your Nick box is here. And I'm like, Nick box! So I went over there today and got it, and I'm super pumped to see what's inside. And just so you guys know, I did not take a peek. All I did was take off the plastic wrapping. That's all I did. So I didn't sneak a look or anything. I just wanted to have it be easier when I finally opened it, so I cut off the plastic. Yada, 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 as they would say in Seinfeld. So, that'll all be really fun. Plus, I'm going to give you a sneak preview and update on the content I have coming soon, and I'm so pumped up about it. It's all going to be about 90s family movies. And if you guys are wondering, well, what the heck's a 90s family movie? Well, think about movies like Good Burger, Blank Check, all kinds of great Mighty Ducks, all kinds of great movies, Space Jam. Lots of sports 90s kids movies for some reason. Of course, Free Willy's one, and I did a whole long, extensive conversation about Free Willy quite a while ago, about 8 months ago on my YouTube channel. And I'm very proud of that one, actually, because it's like everything you could ever want to know about orcas in one stream. And it took a lot of research, but it was a lot of fun, too. Plus, we talked about the actual whale who played Willy. His name is Keiko. So, yeah, that one is cool, but it's a 90s family movie. And there's so many of them. There's like, well, for instance, there's definitely at least 64, but I know there's actually more. Because I did a 64 movie Twitter tournament where I pitted all the movies against each other in a series of polls to find out which movie was thought of to be the ultimate 90s family movie. And that's actually going to be a future stream like next week. I'm ready. It's a video like 2 years in the making. It's ready to go. I've got some really cool looking graphics all set up. I've got the poll results and pictures all around it, and I'm super pumped. It's going to be fun. Also, I just want to know what you guys have been up to. So leave in the chat what you've been doing during COVID times, quarantining, because it's been crazy. But I've been reading a lot, mostly personally, and it's been really cool because I've never been a reader. So kind of discovering my love of that was really a surprising thing, but a welcomed thing, because I just never thought I was a big reader. I was like, I suck at reading, I'm so slow, and I don't really enjoy it. I guess I just had to find the right books or something. I don't know. But now that I do find books I like, I found quite a few that I'm super into. I know I really love the author Joe Hill, and he did this book called Nosferatu, and it's amazing. I just read it in September. It was awesome. I loved it. And one of the things I bought at that secondhand store I was telling you guys about was a book called The Heart-Shaped Box, and that's what I'm going to start reading next. In fact, I did start it. I'm a few pages in, 20 pages in, and so far I already like it. So very excited about that. That's what I've been up to. Also, another thing, since some of you guys who followed me Nails and Claws, my hair is so long since last time I streamed. It's 4 inches longer, and my mom's like, don't cut it. I don't know why. So she just obsessed with my hair. I don't know why. I guess that's how moms are. They're just don't change things that I like, blah, blah. But somehow she doesn't like my glasses, though. So she likes my hair, doesn't like my glasses. Sorry, Mom, keeping the glasses. Another thing that's happened since COVID and quarantining is I have been going ham flipping exercising. And so I actually got a little muscle. It's it doesn't look that big on the camera. It looks big to me. I don't know. So somehow I was weightlifting more and more, and we do it about twice a week, but lately we've only been able to do it once a week. But we just did the weightlifting today, and my arms are all shaky because I felt like I haven't done it in a week. But yeah, I'm getting stronger. That's one thing. That's one positive thing from COVID, is that I'm learning new things, doing new things, and improving on myself. Another thing I've been doing is cooking a lot. We got a new stand mixer, and I made a pumpkin cake from scratch, not from the box, which I usually make cakes from. So that's kind of what's new with me. Oh, Nails says she likes my glasses. Thanks, Nails. They're really big, but I do like them too, because they feel I don't know, they feel they're so me. I guess I like that they're big. And it's funny, my mom used to have big glasses, but she doesn't like my big glasses. It's very weird. Nails says she's currently reading a Jim Ross book, and she also read The Mockingbird Next Door over the summer. Oh, I've never read either. I think Paul might own Jim Ross's book, but maybe not. No, I know he owns McFoley's book. He let me borrow that. But yeah, I haven't read Jim Ross's, but I wonder, how are you liking the Jim Ross book, Nails? And thank you everyone who is joining right now and who's watching. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, especially if you don't know about my previous content. If you do know about my previous content, thanks, welcome back, appreciate ya. Camelotus here in the chat, thanks for joining. And yes, Camelotus is saying, woo, to get your fitness. Yeah, I try, but I'm a weakling. But to me, this is a huge muscle. I'm yeah, it looks so tiny there. Doesn't matter. I don't want it to be huge. I just want it to be in shape, I guess. Oh, Catherine's here. Catherine, thank you for watching. She says she loves my glasses. Thank you. My mom doesn't hate them. She just is I wish you'd wear your contacts. But I literally cannot wear them right now because my eyes are spacing out, so. All right, so what should we do first? Magnets or Nick box unboxing? Because I'm super pumped about both things. Of course, I've already seen the magnets, but I think you guys will like them too. A lot of them are 90s themed, so I think I'm going to go with magnets first, because those are easy and already out and ready for me to grab. So let me grab them. All right. Here's some cool magnets. And again, this came from Second and Charles, which is 20 minutes, well, really more 35, 40 minutes away from my house. I'm so glad people are saying hi to my friend Catherine in the chat. Catherine's the best, guys. Please check out our Zoom on my YouTube channel. We talked for like 2 hours about Halloween and horror, and it was so much fun. We really went in depth, but it's because we both love Halloween time so much, and we went all out and decided to make 2 fun lists that we both did to celebrate the season. And I'm really, really, really glad we did that because it made October way more special than it's ever been for me. So, all right, my first one, Baby Yoda, Precious Cargo. I mean, come on. And it's like a 3D magnet. Look how thick that is. Of course, I'm spastic and can't even get it near the camera. But look how cute he is. Oh my God, he's so cute. Look at that face. I could just pinch him. He's the best. Yes, Nails, it's Kat from the video Zoom, from the Halloween Zoom. She's here in the chat right now. All right, I know, actually, speaking of Catherine, she's going to love this one. Snoopy and Woodstock. Why am I doing things in reverse? It's really hard to coordinate this, guys. Bear with me. But I love this magnet. Again, it's another 3D magnet. You can see how thick it is. It sticks to the refrigerator pretty well, so I'm happy with it. Also, another one that I know Catherine will love. Right here. Buffy. It says Sunnydale, Slayers Club. Trying to get the glare off of it. All right, there it is. Look at that. I love it. Established 1997. And it says Buffy really small right there. You could see in the corner. Right there. I love it. I love it. And I hardly have any Buffy magnets out of all the magnets I have behind me. And I've got more over there on the side of me. And I've got more on our fridge and our other fridge. I don't think I have any other flippin' Buffy magnets. So, yep, that was my first Buffy magnet right here. It says Sunnydale. Love it. And we've got double AUB in the chat as well. Thanks for joining. If you guys have anything you love to collect, shout it out in the chat. Because I think one of the most fun things is collecting different things. It's hard because you have to dedicate yourself to kind of definitely making it a point to go and buying that one thing over and over again. Me, I'm insane, and I've dedicated myself to collecting multiple things. So, like, I collect posters, I collect magnets, I kind of started collecting socks a little bit. And I'll show you guys my socks in a little while. I'm wearing thematic socks for tonight. They're 90s socks, so. Double AUB says, I collect old 90s shows on DVD. I love old 90s shows, and I have quite a few myself on DVD. Like, I've got The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I've got a couple other non-Nickelodeon non-Nickelodeon cartoons. Some are Disney, some are just regular cartoons, some are just regular shows. I just like collecting DVDs and also VHSs. I have my complete VHS collection. I've got my complete VHS collection from when I was a kid, and I'm actually going to show some of it on an upcoming 90s stream, and we'll talk more about that later. But alright, so I showed you guys the Snoopy magnet, the Baby Yoda, the Buffy, and this one's another favorite. I mean, they really, at this place, they had so many good magnets. I'm lucky that I got out of there buying as little as I did. Alright, it's Bill Murray, and it's the classic pointing thing from Stripes where he's pointing at you. And it says, don't be a douche. I thought this was kind of harsh, but also funny. And I love Bill Murray, so I was like, well, it's Bill Murray, whatever. Even though it's a little harsh. Like, I would never tell that to somebody, but I really liked it a lot, so I bought it. I like how Nail says, I know how collecting can be a slippery slope, so I try not to start, but I collect nail polish for sure. And she says she recently started with wrestling pins, and she can't stop. And, you know, I have seen some of Nail's nail like artwork on her nails. It's amazing. And yeah, you must have a lot of nail polish to be able to do all those different designs, and I love how they turn out. Every time I see them on Twitter, I'm like, I wish I could paint my nails like that, but I always get them all over my cuticles because look how small and short my nails are. They're hard to paint. Anyway, this one's kind of like a science nerdy magnet. It says, back in my day, we had 9 planets. And of course, it's referring to Pluto, which people say is not a planet anymore, which is kind of sad. So 90s kids, they definitely get sad about that. It's not just me. I know I've heard a lot of people saying it's just not the same. Pluto is a planet to me, in my heart. So whatever. Double AUB, he says he also collects autographed wrestling pictures. That's really cool. I actually also, when I was into wrestling, collected wrestling 8x10s. A lot of them weren't signed. They were just, I liked the 8x10s, and I liked to frame them and put them on the wall, and it was like a little wrestling Hall of Fame type of thing. Nail says Rob collects business cards, but we haven't been places in a while. Yeah, I know. That's another thing is Paul and I both collect pint glasses because we love beer. And we've been going to a lot of breweries together across the country when he travels and when I go with him. But because we haven't been somewhere in a long time, we haven't added to our pint glass collection in like forever. But man, we've got some really good ones. One day when I've got a really short Ethernet cable, so I can't bring my computer over. But one day I'm going to find a way to like record the glasses and like put a video up on here and play it because it's a really cool collection. So it's very, very, yes, I can't believe, Nails, I guess my mic is picking up. She hears the puppy paws. Hey, Jackson, you want to come on camera? You want to come here? Come here. All right, guys. Don't pull anything out. Come here. Come here. He's all like, so, oh no, he's already knocking over stuff. Please don't, Jackson. Nope, now he's running away. All right, Jackson, sorry I got you excited for no reason. I can't get him. I can't corral him. He's not going to get in here. He'll say hi from afar, though. All right, hi, Jackson. Bye, Jackson. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to show him, but it's hard. If I move my computer, I don't want to, like, move my Ethernet cable, so I would have turned it around. But next time I'll get him. Stay tuned, Jackson. Your time in the spotlight is coming very soon. All right, so the planet magnet was pretty cool. This one I really love. Of course, it's a horror magnet, The Shining, and it says The Shining at the bottom. Come play with us, Danny. Those twins that are so creepy in the hallway, who are covered in blood talking to Danny. I just had to get this one because I think it was one of the only horror ones I bought, this last batch I bought. All right, Harry Potter time. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And it's cute little Harry Potter as a cartoon. And look at everyone else in the background. Oh, look at Hedwig. He's so cute and fluffy and fat. I like him. All right, and this one's pretty cool for all you sci-fi lovers out there. Picard, of course, that is the show about the Star Trek The Next Generation captain, Jean-Luc Picard, and he is my favorite Star Trek captain, and I did watch the full first season of Picard, and I loved it. And actually, fun fact, this picture is my banner picture on my Facebook profile. That's how much I like Picard. I just love him. And I liked the show a lot, too. Of course, I still think TNG is the best version of Star Trek, but it was great, too. Because, one, I've been wanting, like, a Next Generation sequel for a very long time, and I never imagined it would be executed that well as Picard executed, like, the story that they did. So I just really loved it. And yes, Nails, that is a dog on the magnet with Picard. And actually, so in the show, in the first few episodes especially, you see that he is a dog. And I believe it's a pit bull, and I think it's because Patrick Stewart, who plays Jean-Luc Picard, he loves pit bulls, and he's really into pit bull rescues and definitely into advocating for pit bulls. So I believe that's the case. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, thank you so much. Dale Gend Big Dre 74. I hope I'm pronouncing your screen name right. Thank you for coming to the stream and the chat and checking this out. I really appreciate you. And Nails brought you here. That Nails, she's amazing. I really appreciate it. All right. And here's the final magnet, I believe. And it's Bob Ross. I love him. Ever make mistakes in life? Let's make them birds. Yeah. They're birds now. And I love it because it's inspiring, and whenever I want to relax, I watch Bob Ross, and I haven't watched him in a while, but he's so zen, and his voice is so soothing. There's something about him. And also, I worked at a PBS affiliate station for a very long time, so it's like an unwritten rule. Like, if you work there, of course you gotta like Bob Ross, so yeah. Why wouldn't I like him? But yeah, he's amazing, and his paintings, like, it's so amazing, I swear. Bob Ross is kind of like the universal, I guess you could say, unifier. Because I feel like no matter who you are, you can like and get into Bob Ross, even if you've never heard of him. And how I know this is, and I know I've told this story on my YouTube before, so bear with me, guys, but it is, so cool. I've been on planes before watching Bob Ross on my phone because you can download Netflix episodes. And I've sat next to so many different people, young, old, middle-aged people too. All kinds of different types of people too. Like, you know, more business people, more casual people. I'm telling you, all kinds of people. And every time I watch it, they look over, and a lot of conversations have been sparked because of the Bob Ross. They'll like look over and say, "Oh, you're watching Bob Ross? I remember him." Or, "Is that Bob Ross?" And some people have like more of a story to tell than just that. Like I know one guy was like, "I dressed as him for Halloween one year," and he got so excited to tell me about it. And other people are just kind of, you can tell that they're sneaking, looking at what you're watching. So all kinds of people like really dig it. And here, the right pronunciation, it's the legend Big Dre, but you can call me Dre. Okay, Dre, thanks, and thank you for correcting me. If I say stuff wrong, guys, you can say in the chat, because I'm bad at a few things. Pronunciation's one of them, reading, like, screen names is another one, so. But everyone has their, like, things that they're good at and things that they're not so good at. That's the stuff I'm not so good at, I'll say. Dre says he loves Nickelodeon, childhood favorite. Me too. I'm really, really into Nickelodeon, specifically 90s Nickelodeon. And specifically, you know, some people like live action more. In fact, there's a great podcast called Big Orange Couch. They talk all about 90s Nickelodeon. And if you really want in-depth stuff, especially about live action, like Are You Afraid of the Dark or The Adventures of Pete and Pete, even Clarissa Explains It All, they do deep dives onto all of that. They have all kinds of different episodes, and they literally cover everything. So I have to recommend them. Again, Big Orange Couch is the name of the podcast. It's pretty much my favorite podcast. But I like the cartoons, so like Rocco, and especially I love Rugrats, the first 3 seasons. After that, I thought the animation style wasn't as good. Basically, after the movie and they added Dill, at the time as a kid I liked Dill, but like looking back now, like the episodes are not the same after Dill. So yeah, I hate to say I'm anti-Dill, but I am. But funnily enough, I like dill pickles, like the real dill pickles, not dill pickles the character, the kind you eat. I like those. Double AUB likes Big Orange Couch too. Yeah, they're amazing. They're like the best. Also, what else do I love about 90s Nick? Of course, Nickelodeon's Doug is wonderful too. I think that show doesn't get enough love sometimes. Everyone forgets that it's one of the original 90s Nick shows when they launched. I used to love Ren and Stimpy as a kid. My dad loved it too. But, you know, right now, I'd say that's my least favorite probably right now, if I were to go back and rewatch. In terms of favorite, it's got to be Rocko's Modern Life, because I rewatched that last year. Man, is it genius. There's so many crazy adult references. It's so smart, too. But obviously, you can see how it would appeal to a kid at the time. So, really, it's got everything you could want as a kid, and then later in life as an adult if you go back and watch. Double AUB, Are You Afraid of the Dark is his favorite Nickelodeon show ever, and yeah, it's one of my favorites too. You know, I really think that shows like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark are kind of what created like a new generation of horror lovers. So like me, I love horror movies, and I'm not saying it's all because of Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebump TV shows and also the Goosebump books. I think that is a big part of it though. So it's not the whole part and the whole reason why, but I think it's a huge contributing factor, honestly. And I just think, in terms of which one's better, I'm not gonna say which I think's better. I think most people would agree which one's better, but I'm going to do a future stream about Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, and what I'm gonna do is pit them against each other. In fact, I do this type of series all the time. I call it Either Or, where I take 2 things I love, and I force myself to choose one over the other. And then I also put out polls and like ask people to choose which one their favorites are. So, like, you know, I force other people to choose, too. I'm not just the only one who's tortured by choosing. I make you guys feel tortured, too. Unless the choice is easy. And then, of course, you'll have an easy time picking. But sometimes I find the choice is quite hard. But yes, spoiler, future one will be Are You Afraid of the Dark versus Goosebumps TV shows. And which one is the ultimate? Which one's the best? Which one would I choose over the other? And so, yeah, yes, and I do love 90s Court on Twitter. I love the idea of choosing between 2 things. I actually got inspired to choose between 2 things from that Big Orange Couch podcast because they do versus episodes. And so I thought of a spin on that type of topic. But obviously, I'm not just choosing between 90s Nickelodeon shows. I'm choosing between all kinds of things, including 80s things. In fact, here's another thing I'm going to cover. Rocky versus Karate Kid. Which franchise would you choose over the other? Like, that's gonna be so hard. That's like the Underdog Sports Edition. Karate's a sport, so I'll call it the Underdog Sports Edition. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Alright, so before we get to the unboxing of the Nick box, let's quickly look at my friend Burke, who gave me a couple of VHSs randomly, which I'm really grateful for actually. And because I'm going to be talking about VHS covers in the near future and VHSs in general, I want to show these because it's thematic. Why not? Alright. Here's a few, and they're 90s themed. You know, I did like this show as a kid. It's on Disney Plus now. It's The Little Mermaid, and it's the TV show, not the movie. And it's pretty decent, but I love how glittery the VHS is. And I don't know. I just love old VHSs. They're so great. Alright, so that's one. He got me 3. Here's a really cool Looney Tunes themed one, Tasmaniac. And it's a whole collection of Taz shorts. So that one's pretty cool. And this is a 90s family movie. I do consider this a 90s family movie. We will be talking about this on the stream that I'm doing. Literally, by the way, guys, I didn't even say, my next stream will be Sunday, this upcoming Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And that's where we're going to get into 90s movies in depth. It's going to be a more intricate stream than this one. It's going to have a lot more graphics. We're going to go over my top 10 90s family movies. I've got a countdown list, and I've got some trivia and tidbits, and I'm very excited about it. And so yes, this is The Incredible Journey. And it's a classic. Look at the back there. I'm really happy that my friend Burke gave me these. It's pretty cool. And like I said, I kind of minorly collect VHSs, but I know a lot of people, especially people I've seen on Twitter, they are way more into it than me. In fact, what they do is, like, they go out and buy VHSs now. I know my good friend Teresa does that too, or she used to for a long time, and she used to keep them in milk crates and, like, keep them on display. I used to love her collection. But like me, I just kind of have my old ones from as a kid. I don't buy new ones, but I wouldn't be opposed to buying new ones eventually. Do I actually play the VHSs? I do still have a VHS player. It does still work, and I did watch a VHS. I think me and Paul actually watched a recorded Celtics game not that long ago. Like it was definitely during COVID. So and during the time we were been quarantining. So like 4 months ago, and that was really fun. So I haven't watched any of the 90s films yet on VHS, but some of them I would actually prefer to, like, let's take Beauty and the Beast for example. So like I own Beauty and the Beast, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the animated version, on VHS, and of course I do own it. Actually, I own it like 3 different versions. I own it on DVD, and then I also own it on Blu-ray. If you watch the Blu-ray version, it looks so 3D computer animated. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm a big fan of traditional animation, which means hand-drawn animation. You know, the type of classic animation you see in older Disney films, and, you know, the type of animation you just don't see anymore because everything uses a computer. They kind of stopped doing it, like, early 2000s. They did do one later, The Princess and the Frog, which I thought was amazing, but they did use some computer for that. I mean, heck, even for Beauty and the Beast, they did use some computer, but it was mostly hand-drawn. But when you compare the DVD or Blu-ray to the VHS, it's just so crisp, I like, especially if you're watching on a tube TV, it wouldn't look so good on, like, one of these high-definition TVs. But if you're watching on a tube TV, I think a Disney animated movie looks really good then. You can really tell that it looks like a cartoon, like it looks like it's traditionally drawn with someone's hand. And that's what I like. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to watching like Beauty and the Beast or any animated movie on VHS. And my parents actually do have a tube TV in their living room still. I know that's crazy. But in the same room, they also have like a regular TV. For some reason, well, not for some reason, I know the reason. One of the reasons why they've held on to it so long is because, one, it fits in this bookshelf and like nothing else would really fit there. Definitely another TV couldn't fit there. It's like the perfect size for a tube TV. As you guys know, those are more square, whereas TVs today are more rectangular. So, another reason, and this is so silly, so we have a big Halloween party, and I talked about that with my great friend Kat, who's in the chat right now. She's amazing. We talked all about my Halloween party and Halloween in general, like I said, but for our party, my dad does like a little Poltergeist area, the movie Poltergeist, and if you guys remember, the little girl in Poltergeist is going up to the TV, it's static, so my dad's able to still set the tube TV to like a static channel, and he has like this little doll that I had when I was growing up that we saved in my attic, because we save everything. We're like people have joked that we're hoarders, but no, we just like to save things, like, things that are special to us, that have some personal meaning. So this doll that I used to have, he uses it, and it's perfect size to like put her hands like on the TV when it's staticky. So that's another reason why we still have a tube TV. Oh my gosh, Kat says she still has a tube TV in her bedroom. See, there ain't nothing wrong with a tube TV. I'm really glad my mom and dad still have one. I'd be really sad if they got rid of it. And I'd actually think about getting another one, because I'm sure you can get them at thrift stores super cheap. If they didn't have that one, I would want to go and definitely get another one, because I don't know, there's just something great about being able to watch something on VHS if you wanted to. Shino Phoenix, thanks for joining. I'm doing good. How are you? I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat so far. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I love interacting with you, so keep the messages coming. Thanks everyone. Robbie, I see in the chat here. Head Cheese, you're here too. Hey, how you doing? Oh, Cobra Kai. Robbie is talking about Cobra Kai, the show, and he says it's a whole other category of goodness. Oh my gosh, I have to agree with you. I love Cobra Kai. I couldn't be more excited for the new season. I'm really eager to see what direction they go with that show, but yeah, what a great continuation. Some things they try to pick back up after something has ended, like a nostalgic thing like Karate Kid. Cobra Kai does that, but does it well. So it's not just playing into nostalgia just to do it. It's doing it with great actors and a great story. So I really appreciate the way they've crafted that, and the way they're really working with the story to make it good, to make people really like it, to not just bank off of the Karate Kid legacy, essentially, which I like. I think that's admirable, because they could easily have just said, okay, same actors, and then it could have been a trash storyline or something. No, it's actually really good. Also, Josh is here. Josh, hey! He asked, am I a Parks and Rec fan? Yes, I love Parks and Rec. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I also love The Office, and I'm actually rewatching The Office right now. So is Kat. We were just talking about how we'd love to do an episode together about The Office, and I would really love to talk with her still about it. Kat, we should make that happen. Besides our... here's another spoiler. Kat and I are going to do a convo. We're both doing Christmas marathons. She's doing a whole really cool horror movie Christmas marathon. So, like, they're Christmassy horror movies. And I'm doing similar to her. I'm doing Christmas horror movies, but I'm also doing regular Christmas movies, too. And, of course, at first, it was like 25 movies. And I'm sure by the time I'm done, my list is going to be like 50 movies long. And I don't know. We'll see if I can get through it. I did get through 65 movies in Halloween, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that in December. Like, can you really replicate that success? I don't know. Like, it just takes a lot of lounging around. I mean, that sounds fun, but, like, you never know when you have things you have to do and stuff. Nail says she would love an Office episode, a chat with me and Kat about The Office. Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun, and there's so many things you could analyze. You could talk about your favorite characters. Fun fact, my boyfriend Paul, who's in the next room and probably can kind of hear me from the room away, he doesn't like Michael Scott. And I was so afraid he would hate The Office, because at first he was like, oh, Michael Scott's annoying. And also, we had just watched Parks and Rec. And if you guys know, Parks and Rec is way more in your face, way more funny, I think. I think it's way less dry. The Office is more, like I said, more dry. It takes a while to get going. I think the first season of The Office is kind of its weak spot. But once you get into the second season, especially the midpoint of the second season, oh my god, it gets so good. And I think that's where it's at, that and beyond. And I gotta say, I've seen it quite a few times. I've gotta have seen it at least 4 times total. It's probably my 5th time this time around. I'm on season 9 right now with Paul. I think this time, I'm appreciating more and more the seasons without Michael. Because at first I was so anti the non-Michael seasons. I was so sad that he left the show, and I just couldn't get over it. I'm like, it's not good without Michael. But now, actually, there are a lot of good episodes without Michael, and I've embraced it more. I mean, as long as you've got Jim, Dwight, and Angela, Jim, Dwight, and Pam, then you've got a really great combo of characters that you are invested in already and love. And so that's, I think, enough to keep it going. Plus, it's great writing throughout all the 9 seasons. Now, I do think season 9 is another low point, much like season 1, but it's still got its good parts, And I think overall, the whole show's amazing. And so is Parks and Rec. I mean, oh god, we just watched that, like I said, And Paul loved it. I love it. Little Sebastian the pony. Oh my god, Little Sebastian, he's my favorite. Alright, so I'm just looking in the chat real quick, make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. Again, thank you all so much for joining me. We're about to unbox a 90s Nickelodeon, it's called a Nick box, that's the official name. And there's tons of mystery crates out there. I actually think that this Nick box is one of the best ones out there. It is a little more expensive, but it doesn't come monthly. It comes like every couple of months, and it's got some high quality items. It's not just chinky stuff. I will say, and I don't mean to bash on wrestling mystery crates, but sometimes I was getting ones and I thought they were kind of low quality for the price. And I was like, man, I kind of want like some better ones. But other times there were good wrestling crates. But yeah, this Nick box is like top tier mystery crate for sure. Robbie says, I watch TV with an antenna. Actually, we've got an antenna too, like a little, it doesn't look like a traditional like long antenna, it's like flat. But we use it as well in our garage actually. And then Robbie says channels like MeTV, Antenna TV, Cozy, Comet, Diginet with old shows are great on standard definition TV. The actors don't look as fat. Oh, that's horrible. But I'm sure it's true. I mean, another thing about high definition is you could see like everyone's pores and like you can't hide anything hardly. I know that we used to joke about that on the show I used to work on, Stepping Out. Like everyone would be like, oh no, you could see all of our pores and everyone's pores. So you got to be careful. It would be a big joke at work and stuff, but it's not standard definition anymore. What can you do? It's the way of the world. Technology is advancing. Double AUB says, I got my Nick box last year, not bad. Wish they'd shipped this one sooner. Yeah, I feel like their shipping does take a while. That's the one thing. They always send me an email and it's like, okay, it's on its way. And then it feels like it takes forever to actually arrive after I get that email. So I'm like, what the heck? And Kat says, yes, we will definitely do an office convo. I'm so excited. I have to start researching because like I think we could do so many cool facts and tidbits. And I know that there's like official office podcasts and office people talking about the office. Obviously, you've got Jenna Fisher and Angela who actually have the Office Ladies, which I know Kat listens to. Their podcast is great, but they give the really great behind the scene details. I think it's fun, and me and Kat could still analyze it and talk about like the show and the characters and what certain things mean and what things we notice, etc., etc. There's still plenty to talk about, even though there are other podcasts that cover it. So let's get to the Nick box unboxing. All right, I'm going to show you the front again. Space themed. There's Angelica right there, rocket ship, Ren and Stimpy, of course, pizza. All right, so you gotta go the reverse way. Lots of cool stuff. And before I open the box, one last thing. If I can be flexible enough, which I'm not going to be, I'm wearing thematic socks for this unboxing. It's Reptar socks. Reptar. All right, there's Reptar. It's ridiculous. Okay. Sorry, those are my Reptar socks, and I was like, if I'm not going to wear a thematic shirt, I have got to wear thematic socks, right? So that's what I did. And I was like, but how am I going to be able to get my leg up there for them to see it? But I did it. All right, so back to the box. All right, I'm really excited about this, guys. All right. Look how pretty. Nick box. Already something slipped out. All right, let's see. It's the card with everything on it. I'm not going to look at it. They give you a card every box that tells you everything in the box, and I'm not going to look at that because I want to be surprised as I pull out these items. All right, and remember, guys, after this, if you don't like Nickelodeon or 90s Nick, that's okay. We've got something for you. We're talking about horror movies afterwards because I've got all these Q&A questions that I will answer, and that will be happening shortly after this unboxing. But the first item, it looks like it's a beanie. A beanie with a classic, and I was really wanting them to do more stuff like this. I think that they don't do enough items in their Nick boxes with the Nickelodeon logo, so I got my wish. This beanie has one of the classic Nickelodeon logos. It's a rocket ship that says Nickelodeon, and I do remember, I think they used this in some in-between show bumpers. They're basically like little mini like promotions for the channel that says like the channel name in a logo. That's what a bumper is. It runs in between shows, like as a mini commercial, essentially. Oh my gosh, I can already tell I'm gonna love this. Hey Arnold! Oh my gosh, it's a sweatshirt, and it's a hoodie, actually. Wow, nice quality. Oh, and this is the Halloween episode where, like, they pretend to be aliens and the whole town thinks it's real. Oh my god, Arnold's Halloween. Oh my god, why didn't this come in October? I could have worn this. Why? Why didn't you arrive sooner? I guess I'll just have to wear it during Christmas time and pretend like it could be a dual-purpose sweatshirt, even though it's clearly Halloween. It says Arnold's Halloween, which is the name of the episode, by the way. Oh my god. Like, Double AUB says, wish they would have shipped it earlier, because now it's, like, after Halloween. Like he's saying in the chat, like, what the hell? But still, I'm still happy with it. I'm not complaining. I just, like, wish it would have gotten here sooner. Oh my gosh, this is the first item I've ever noticed that they've done that's Invader Zim. Now, I barely consider Invader Zim really 90s Nick, but I don't hate it, and I knew a lot of people who liked it, including my cousin Blake, who is a big Invader Zim fan, so I love the tag. I'm gonna keep the tag. In fact, one day I'm gonna stream in my little, it's a display room I have in our new rental house. Paul gets a room for his, like, sports memorabilia. He uses it as his office. I have an extra room, and it's, like, my display room. So, like, all my 90s Nick box items, all my 90s memorabilia from when I was a kid is in there. And I might get a long Ethernet cable and stream from in there a few times so that you guys can see, like, the background, and I could do different backgrounds behind me, not just my magnets all the time that you see right now. I want to do other stuff. So, yeah, I keep the tags in that room, and some of them are, like, on the wall, like, pinned into the wall. So I'm gonna keep this one because this is so cool. I love how big and square it is, like almost like a TV, but I'm sure it's like an alien monitor, so that's neat. All right. Oh, cool. Space Madness pencil with that's the eraser. Oh, and look, I love big erasers because they're so 90s. It reminds me so much of the 90s. Now I'm thinking this Space Madness, is that Ren and Stimpy? Yeah, Ren and Stimpy episode, the one that I showed you guys on the box where they're in space suits, that's Space Madness. Awesome. Oh, I'm happy with this already. The Tale of the Twisted Claw, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's a pin. Hard to see in the plastic, but it's a claw. And, you know, this is a classic Halloween tale. You know, Are You Afraid of the Dark is not the first one to cover this tale, like the monkey's paw type of thing. You know, you get this, you can have some wishes, but be careful what you wish for, essentially. And this is kind of like their most Halloween-y episode, in my opinion, because I believe it takes place on Halloween, this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And again, it's called The Tale of the Twisted Claw. Very cool pin. Very excited. All right, what next? I don't even know. Oh, I'm excited. Ren and Stimpy like a notepad. I take all kinds of notes and I use notepads all the time, so this is super cool. There it is. Oh my god. Yes. So obviously all this is space stuff, but half space, half Halloween, I suppose, because some of this is definitely Halloween-y. Oh my gosh, the Suck-O-Matic. It's a vinyl Suck-O-Matic figure with Rocco on top from Rocco's Modern Life. Of course, this is an episode where this vacuum type cleaner goes insane and has like a mind of its own and starts destroying everything. So it's kind of like a horror episode, but a different type of horror, you know. But I'm gonna take it out of the plastic to show you guys so that you don't see the glare. Sorry for all the rustling and bustling. Wait a minute. Is this not a vinyl thing? What is this? This is something else. There's an on and off switch. What is this? There's a battery compartment. Does it do something? What does it do? All right, I'm cheating and looking. Oh my god, it actually vacuums. It's like a desk vacuum. Oh my god. So like the bottom has like these things that you would like use to vacuum. Oh, now this is the type of thing that I love that Nickbox does. Very creative items. That is cool. Like, I just thought it was like a figure you display like on the table like this. I didn't think you could actually like use it to do stuff. Flippin' awesome. Jeez. All right, last thing. I'm throwing things around. I don't like to be so rough with it, but I'm all excited now. And this is Rugrats because I could see from the box. Oh my god, I was just talking about this with you guys. I just said we didn't get a lot of new pint glasses. Well, here I go. A Rugrats pint glass where they're aliens. Pardon me. Oh my gosh, see the Rugrats in the back? Oh, this is so cool. I was literally just saying how I didn't have any new pint glasses. Incredible timing. That is awesome. I had no idea it came with a pint glass. And that's, again, I don't know the title of that Rugrats episode, but it's definitely creepy. And it's basically like Tommy is having a dream, and he imagines, like, everyone as aliens, like his mom, his dad, grandpa, as you saw in the pint glass. And, okay, so it's called Visitors from Outer Space, Pint Glass. So I'm guessing that's the name of the episode. I give this Nick box an A+. It's way better than the last Nick box I got, which was the only one I was ever disappointed with, was the one before this one. So this one's an A+ for me. Especially the hoodie. Oh my god, so many cool items in the desk vacuum. How cool is that? Will that vacuum pick up dog hair from your lap? Probably not, and my dog sheds a lot. In fact, oh no, I put the hoodie right where his hair was, I bet. Oh my gosh. I'll have to clean the hoodie already. Oh my gosh, and so since Double AUB already opened his Nick box, he says he doesn't know if that desk vacuum works on your lap, but it definitely works on flat surfaces. That's so cool. I can't wait to try it. Except we gotta find some batteries. We always have rechargeable ones, and like they're always used up, so hopefully I can find some new ones. Kat says she loves Ren and Stimpy. It was so fun. She also loved Pinky and the Brain. I also loved Pinky and the Brain, and I watched an episode. I don't think I told you on our stream, on our Zoom call. I watched an episode that was Halloweeny of Pinky and the Brain. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And God, that show is so great. And they did say, because, you know, they're doing new episodes of the Animaniacs, which was a 90s cartoon. And they're also going to be doing new episodes of Pinky and the Brain, I heard. So that's pretty big news. I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. And Kat says she also loves the Nick box. She thinks it was awesome. I do too. I really love it. Nick Box is listening and taking notes to our criticisms about how late it comes. You know, actually, Nick Box gives out these surveys where they're like, do you have any ideas for future items that we could do? And every time I have, like, pages and pages of, like, ideas. I wish I could work for them, like, designing, like, the new items for this Nick Box. It's actually not done by Nickelodeon. It's done by this company called Culture Fly, who actually do other mystery crates. Like, they do a Pusheen one, which are those cute cartoon cats. I love them. I would love to get them, but I can't afford, like, multiple mystery crates. It's just too much. And then I'd go insane collecting that, too. And I'd be like, I'd have no room anywhere in my house for anything because I just collect too much. As you can see, like, in the corner over there, I even have mugs. We kind of collect mugs over there. So I've got a Bob Ross mug, a Mr. Rogers mug. I've got an NSYNC mug. I've got a Rocco mug that came from a Nick box, of course. But yeah, so I'm also kind of collecting mugs, and Paul has a lot of mugs too. And so some of the ideas I had for, like, new Nick box items. If you guys remember those old toys called Armstrong stretch dolls, so it was like this yellow or red doll, like plastic with a plastic head, and like you could stretch them. It almost felt like Play-Doh kind of, but latexy. I don't know. Anyway, you pulled on his arms and you could pull them like really long and he wouldn't break. I know some kids like tried to break them on purpose, but I did not. I think mine did eventually break, and there was like, or melted in the attic or something. There was like goo. Like it turned to goo, and I was like, no, goo! This is sick. I wish I still had it though. It would have been a great like treasure from my childhood to have. But one of the Nick items I wanted them to make an Armstrong stretch type of doll of Artie from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. The strongest man in the world. And maybe have his arms like this, and you could stretch it like that. Yeah, like that'd be really, really cool. I also thought of like an orange soda mini lava lamp that was like in the shape of an orange soda bottle for Keenan and Kel. I just thought of a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like I can't even remember all the previous emails and surveys I did where I sent them my suggestions, but I know I thought of a couple of things with Spunky from Rocco because I love cartoon dogs. They're so cute. So yeah, those are a couple of my ideas. Hopefully one day they would like act on some of them. That would be really, really, really cool. All right, guys. Robbie is saying Mr. Rogers is the man. Yeah, he taught us so many heartfelt lessons, so I love Mr. Rogers. I think as far as kids programming, so heartfelt, so important, and so educational, but while also, like, you know, like being fun to watch, too, not just educational. Like, really having a good presence. Shino Phoenix says, I watched Mr. Rogers when I was a kid and I always felt welcome to his neighborhood. Still miss him, I know. And I actually just watched a documentary about him like last year. It was a wonderful documentary about his show and like the behind the scenes of it and a little bit about him and his life. I really highly recommend it. I think it was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Obviously that's the name of the show, but I think the documentary was that name. Or it was something like a play on that. It definitely had Mr. Rogers in the name of the documentary, but it was really, really good. And yeah, he is sorely missed because he was a great role model for kids. A great, great man. Definitely. And another, like, if you worked for PBS, you kind of have to like Mr. Rogers, like educational TV goes hand in hand type of thing. So yeah, love him. No, not the one with Tom Hanks. That's an actual, like, that's not a documentary. That's like where Tom Hanks, I actually haven't seen that, the Tom Hanks Mr. Rogers movie, but I heard he did a great job. But yeah, so Nail says Mr. Rogers wasn't big in England. First time I saw him was via The Burbs. Well, Tom Hanks is in The Burbs, right? How about everyone feel about Daniel Tiger? I actually never watched Daniel Tiger. I don't think. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of different British stuff than American stuff in terms of things that were popular, especially as kids. I'm sure it's like so starkly different, it's not even funny. It's really crazy how different cultures are, but it's fascinating. Like how different societies get into different things and why, and what's popular somewhere else isn't popular at all in another place. I just find all that so fascinating. Robbie says the documentary is better than the Tom Hanks movie. Yeah, I really liked the documentary because you got to hear from the people who actually worked with him and knew him and really loved him, you know? Alright, so we did the Nick unboxing, we did the magnet showing off, we did the VHS showing off. Before we get to the Q&A, let me tell you specifically about what I'm going to be doing on Sunday and other days quickly, and then I'll get into the Q&A. Because I know you guys are probably like, answer our questions. But I will get there. The good thing about Twitch is my friend Dave, good guy Dave, said that it's okay if you go long because everyone's there just to hang out. So hopefully you guys are, and if you have to go, no problem at all. That's the cool thing about Twitch. You can pop in, you can pop out, you can do for as long as you want, you can just chill and relax. So hopefully you guys are having an okay time. I really appreciate you all being here. Taker Kid says, first Mr. Rogers passes away, now Alex Trebek. Oh my god, I know. I was so sad to hear about that, and especially because he was battling cancer. Just all of that was so sad. I heard he was in a lot of pain too, but the only good part is that he's not in pain anymore. But man, the world's gonna miss him. I mean, oh yeah, and then Taker Kid mentions Betty White. We have got to protect her. Oh my god, the world's gonna be so sad. Another Jerry Stiller, when he passed away, oh my god, if you guys don't know him, he played Frank Costanza in Seinfeld, and plus he was in many other things too, and he was a part of a comedy duo with his wife as well. One of the other things he did was he was a longtime cast member of The King of Queens, so he wasn't just on Seinfeld, but such a shame that when he died too, I was devastated because I love him. The documentary with Mr. Rogers is called Won't You Be My Neighbor? Thank you, Kat, for looking that up. I knew it was something like that, and that makes sense because, he always said that at the end, beginning of the show. So yeah, lots of good people that we lost, including Mr. Rogers, including Alex Trebek, including Jerry Stiller. Such a bummer. I love those guys. But you know what? We will always remember them, and we'll always celebrate the work that they did that we love, and that brings us joy and happiness. And that's the cool thing, is that their work did bring joy and happiness and will continue to do so long after they've passed away. So in some way, they'll always live on, not only in their families' hearts, of course, for other more personal reasons, but in our hearts as well. So I think that's a cool thought, and that's kind of comforting as well. At least a little bit. All right. So, again, back to what I am working on. I'm so excited for you guys to hear about this. Where's my little paper? Here it is. Okay. I couldn't remember where I wrote this stuff down at. Okay. I'm so excited. Like I said, we've got a 64 movie poll, and we find out which movie turns out to be the best 90s kids movie, or family movie, as you would say. I will give out a spoiler right now. I kind of feel bad. I included Mrs. Doubtfire in this family movie stream, although it was rated PG-13. So part of me is like, oh my god, shouldn't all the movies be like PG or G and not PG-13? Because I excluded movies like Kindergarten Cop because I was like, it's kind of more popular, more adult. But the same thing can be said about Mrs. Doubtfire, and yet I included it. But part of the reason why I included Mrs. Doubtfire, and we'll talk more about it when we get to that stream later, but part of the reason why is because I did other Robin Williams movies, so it was kind of like a theme, a Robin Williams theme specifically. So I kind of justified it that way, of course, as well. And I think that even though Mrs. Doubtfire was meant for, I guess, 13 and older, I think a lot of people younger than 13 ended up watching it. Because I'm pretty sure I saw it before 13. I'm almost positive. Maybe not at like 8 years old, but like 10, 11, 12. I think. So yeah, I'm including it, and I didn't include Kindergarten Cop, so I feel kind of like weird about that, but we'll talk about it when we get to the poll, the things that I had to leave out, and also some things I didn't include in the main poll, but I included some less popular stuff in bonus polls that I did for fun, and actually, I got some really cool feedback on some of those bonus polls, and we'll talk all about that. Then we're going to do a whole stream, a separate stream later, a couple of weeks away, about movie taglines from the 90s. Again, 90s family movies. This is like a series of streams I'm going to do all about 90s family movies. But don't worry, there will be other streams fit in. If you don't like 90s or family movies, like kiddie movies from back then, there'll be plenty that you'll enjoy on my streams. Like, we're gonna do horror movie discussion, because there's a whole bunch of horror movies I actually didn't get to go in depth on. Kat and I talked for 2 hours, and still, because, we just didn't have time to talk about, like, a billion movies that I had watched, and that's okay, because it just was not meant for that amount of time. Like, we can't go into that much detail. And as it was, we went into a lot of depth on other things anyway. So I'm happy with how it turned out. But I'm going to touch on a few of the movies I've got some extra thoughts on that I didn't discuss at all in the Zoom with Kat. I'm going to do a whole stream just about those horror movies that I watched this past year. And even though it's not Halloween, horror is all year round. You don't have to just watch it during Halloween time, even though I usually do. I kind of like section the year off a little bit so that I can get more excited when it's time, when it's approaching. I could just watch horror movies. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Also, if you guys are followers from my YouTube channel, I did this 64 cereal poll where I had this whole bracket of cereals. I never got to finish it. I revealed the 64 cereal bracket. The whole goal was to find out what was the best current cereal, what people thought was the best. I never finished it, but I will finish it. That is my vow. I don't know if it'll be this month, but it is upcoming. I've got the graphics made. It is ready to go. And we will talk about what is the best cereal. And it's going to have to be like an ongoing thing, because I'm going to have to put subsequent polls out. But we're going to go through the initial results, which I never went through. So we'll finally do that eventually. And then, like I told you guys, Rocky vs. Karate Kid will be one thing I'm streaming about. But back to 90s family movies, we're going to do some countdown lists, some of my top 5 lists about 90s family movies, specifically my top 5 food scenes from 90s family movies, top 5 sports underdog movies that are 90s family movies, and some top 5 VHS covers, like what VHS covers are the coolest looking and the neatest or the most iconic. We're going to talk about those, and then I'm also going to review Blank Check. And like the movie taglines one, I'm really excited about because I'm going to be reading like all these taglines from like tons of movies, and some of them are so cheesy, and then at the end I'm going to pick my favorite. So that's like 10 streams I just listed right there. So lots of fun stuff coming up. But that's enough plugging, and I am going to be streaming very regularly on Thursdays at 8 p.m., like tonight, and this is Central Time, and then Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. So I'm going to try to do streams on them those days for sure, and then I might throw in an extra day here or there, but that one will be like loose and won't be set in stone, because sometimes I got to freelance, and sometimes those gigs pop up, you never know when. Just going to take a peek at the chat, and we're going to go into our Q&A, and there's not many questions, so it's not going to go much longer, but I'm sure it'll go like 40 minutes longer knowing me. I'll say it doesn't last much longer than it does. Kat says You Can't Do That on Television is one of her favorites, and that's an old school Nickelodeon show. That is one of the ones I actually never really got a chance to check out very much. Every time when I was into Nickelodeon, that wasn't on too much, but Big Orange Couch, the podcast I told you guys about, they do talk about You Can't Do That on Television. They talk about it a lot, actually. Definitely they've talked about it more than once. Someone said, Double AUB said they always wanted to get slimed. Yeah, like that would be so much fun. Like whether it was on Double Dare or You Can't Do That on Television, I mean, getting slimed would be so much fun, but also kind of gross. Like, you'd have to walk around like that until you could take a shower eventually. Like, when they were doing that type of stuff at Nickelodeon Studios, like when they were sliming people in the studio, was there like an outdoor shower like you have at like amusement parks sometimes where you could like hose off? Or did those kids have to like go around all day with slime all over them? Like, what the hell happened? I don't know. I guess they went home shortly after they got slimed. I don't know. But still, it seemed fun. Nails said, oh, and this is a sad statement, she hasn't been able to watch any Robin Williams stuff since he passed. It's hard to think of him being unhappy, but she's getting there. Just this week, watching clips of Jumanji and Hook because of me, because I've been asking about, what's your favorite parts of Hook and what's your favorite food scenes, and everyone loves the food scene in Hook where they're eating like imaginary food, and it looks so good. Like, there's pies, but they're like blue and white. Weird color for pies, but they still look good. Nail says I'm free therapy, helping her, get back into Robin Williams and not be as sad while watching his stuff. Aw, Nails, I'm glad I could help. I love Robin Williams. I think he's wonderful. It is really sad that we lost him too. Another great person we lost. Mayor of Nilbog is here. Forgot to say hello. He says, so here I go, hello. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining. And we haven't gotten to the questions yet, so we're going to get to that soon. Head Cheese says you could just become slime and then get casted for Flubber. And Flubber is a movie we're going to talk about in the 90s Kids stream because it is ridiculous. It is kind of pretty bad. It's also a remake. A lot of people don't know that there's like an original version from like, was it the 50s or 60s? I can't remember, but I've actually seen the original, and it is pretty decent, actually. I like the new Flubber because of Robin Williams, but if you look at it without the nostalgia factor of Robin Williams, it's kind of bad. Like, I don't know, there's some creepy parts in it, and there's just some weird parts, and, like, it's all very strange. Like, the whole computer thing, like, is in love with him, and he kind of, like, loves the computer, but he's also engaged. Kind of strange story. But, strange storylines and creepy stuff, that is not unusual on 90s kids movies, and we'll talk all about that later, in future streams. But, yeah, it's crazy stuff. All right. So now that I'm caught up in the chat, let us go to the Q&A. And I got some graphics here. Hopefully everything works with them. Let's see. I'm going to cut them in now. There it goes. Woo, it worked. All right, as you guys can see on your screen, the question is, what are your favorite 80s horror movies? And this is a perfect and appropriate question because I just watched like 22 80s horror movies in the month of October. And plus, I just like 80s horror movies in general. There's so many good 80s one. Really, it was such a good decade for horror movies. And I'm not really going to repeat anything that I said with Catherine. I'm going to kind of go over this a little faster. But top 5 80s horror movies. It was difficult, but as I was talking about this with Kat, I love Hellraiser, and I love The Thing, and I told her that on our Zoom convo, so that's no new information. But I didn't get to shout out that I also love Pet Sematary, The Shining, and Children of the Corn. Funnily enough, those are all Stephen King stories made into movies, and I know you guys might be saying, oh my god, like, Kelsey, what are you thinking? Pet Sematary is so corny, but I honestly really love it. I think it's wonderful, and I think the corniness adds to it. Don't go down that road. That's like my favorite part of the whole movie. And then I couldn't not mention Ghostbusters as an honorable mention only because I don't really consider it a, quote, horror movie. I kind of consider it just a great movie. And so if we were talking about like top 80s movies, non-horror, just in general, it would be like number 1. I mean, I don't know if it would be number 1. It'd either be number 2 or number 1 because I like a lot of 80s movies. But it's definitely up there. I just didn't put it in my top 5 because I don't consider it like true horror. I just consider it thematic for Halloween. And then I also want to give an honorable mention shout out to Phantasm 2. I watched it for the first time this year and loved it. As I talked about with Kat, check out our Zoom for more details about that movie. And also The Fog. And I really love The Fog. I think it's underrated and it's really got a lot of atmosphere to it, and I love that. Nails says she likes my fancy graphics. Thank you, Nails. I worked hard on them. I'm very proud of them, I gotta say. So let's go to our next question. And actually, I gotta say, I'm not gonna have a very good answer for this. I'm already gonna apologize to you, Josh. This isn't gonna be a fun answer for you because it's not extensive. So here we go to the next question. What is your favorite video game that you grew up playing? Well, I didn't really play video games too much, to be honest with you, Josh. You know, I wasn't really a video game kid. I was more into TV and movies, but I did like Super Mario Brothers, and I gotta say, actually, I liked it more in college than I even did as a kid because I didn't own a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. However, my college roommate and I decided like I should buy one, and we totally played all the time. In fact, we were so bad. Oh my god, it was so much fun when we would just keep dying over and over again, and we'd be sitting in our living room playing it for like hours. So yeah, although I know it's not a super fun answer or extensive, but Super Mario I think is a game that everyone could relate to and everyone thinks is fun, and that's why it appealed to me. It was just easy, and I'm not a good gamer, so that's another reason why I liked it. It's easier than some other games. All right, Casey Nash. Also, I will not have a good answer to this. What mid-90s alcoholic drink did people prefer, Red Dog or Zima? I don't know either of those. I have no idea. I don't even know what those are. I think I've heard of Zima, if I'm even pronouncing that right. Again, Zima I think's right, but I'm bad at pronunciation like I told you guys earlier. This is from my good friend at Deej Kirkby on Twitter. Favorite and least favorite Halloween candy, and what are my go-to movie snacks? Oh my gosh, this is a really fun question, but really hard. Funnily enough, I was just on a great 80s podcast called I Lived in the 80s. They are wonderful people. We talked all about 80s horror, but last week they talked about their favorite and least favorite Halloween candies, and actually a lot of candy I like, they don't like, so whatever. Some ones that I really don't like, I'm not a big fan of Smarties, to be honest. They're very, chalky. And they're just, I don't know. I can't get into them too much. And then also hard bubblegum. I don't know the brand, but those, they're these small bubblegum little pieces. And they were so hard, like bricks. You could break your teeth on those darn things. So I didn't really like those pieces of bubblegum. I can't remember the brand, but they were always like stale all the time. No matter how fresh they were just automatically stale right out of the wrapper. I'm not a huge fan of Crunch bars. I know that might come as a surprise to people, but Crunch is not my favorite at all. Almond Joy, not a big fan of coconut, so that's not my favorite. Flavored Tootsie Rolls, some of the flavors I don't like. I do like the vanilla ones, those are okay. Wax cola bottles, not my thing. I know my friends at Lived 80s, they liked wax cola bottles. I did not. And some Jolly Ranchers. I mean, those things destroy your teeth. And I don't really care about my teeth, being healthy per se, because I eat a lot of candy. And so it's not like I'm super healthy or conscious or anything. It's just because, while you're chewing, it's just stuck on your tooth. And, all you can feel is that weird consistency in your teeth where it's, stuck. Now, I will say, is it hypocritical to say, although I hate Jolly Ranchers for sticking to your teeth, I like Mary Jane's, which is a very old school candy that also is hard to chew, also sticks on your teeth, but for some reason I like that better. Maybe because instead of fruity, weird flavors, it's more of a caramelly flavor, and a peanut buttery flavor too, versus a fruity-ish flavor, I guess. I love Pixie Sticks. That would be a favorite. Necco Wafers, which is a least favorite of a lot of people. People hate Necco Wafers. I love it. I love Fun Dip. I love root beer barrels. Of course, you don't get that trick-or-treating, but my dad had it all year round, but especially he would buy some around Halloween time. Orange and black candy, wrapped in orange and black wrappers. I really like that. They're hard candies, very good. Also, they're chewy candies that are taffy, orange and black in wrappers. Tootsie Pops, I like the chocolate ones the best. Nerds, candy corn. And candy corn's a controversial candy because some people hate it. They loathe it. Mayor of Nilbog, I've never found candy I don't like, he says in the chat. I know, right? Claus says, I love Crunch bars. What are you talking about, Kelsey? How can you not like them? I'm sorry, I just do not. Let's see what else. Anybody else? Root beer barrels are my fave. Fun Dip is awesome too, says Claus011. Candy corn, I hate it, says Dre. No! Lots of people hate candy corn. I understand. It's okay. but it makes me sad. I wish more people liked it. I'm in love with candy corn. It's so good. Also, this is a weird one. You know those candies, obviously this isn't good for kids, but they look like cigarettes. So candy cigarettes, essentially. I just loved the consistency of those, and they're so good. I don't know what about them. It has nothing to do with it. They look like cigarettes. I didn't like them because of that, but I liked them in general. I also like spearmint leaves, which you wouldn't get trick-or-treating because, they would have to give those to you loose, and that would be weird. But my dad had them in the house around Halloween time. And also, for some reason, he had spearmint leaves around Christmas time a lot, too. Also, I love Airheads and Blow Pops. Both really, really good. I know that's a ton of candy, and you're like, how can all those be your favorite? But they are. And I guess my ultimate favorite would be Reese's, because you can't go wrong with a Reese's. It's got the perfect ratio of peanut butter to chocolate. So good! Okay, so now to his second part of his question. As if the first part of your question wasn't hard enough, Deej, you gotta throw in what's your go-to movie snacks. Well, okay, I've got some candy in there, but also some non-candy. So, of course, I love popcorn. Nothing beats a good, salty, buttery bag of popcorn when you're watching a movie, especially at home. It's way better to have the popcorn at home than at the theater, because at the theater you can go on a coughing fit. Those little kernels get stuck, and then you just want to cough, and then you're thinking about, oh, please don't cough, because you're supposed to be silent in a movie, and then that makes you cough. So I'm like, no. I never get popcorn at the movies because of that reason. I get scared that I'm gonna cough. But at home, you don't have to worry about it. You can cough to your heart's content, or you don't have to be afraid of coughing, so you probably won't in the first place. But so yeah, popcorn's number one. But also Cajun trail mix, and why it's called Cajun is because it's spicy, and you could find that a lot here in Louisiana at different convenience stores, but I'm pretty sure you could find it all across the country. It's not just a Louisiana thing. You could also find it if you guys have heard of the big, huge, convenient gas place called Buc-ee's. They've got a great brand of Cajun trail mix, and it's so spicy and so sweet and good. So it's got spicy stuff in it, and it's also got sweet, honey roasted peanuts in it as well. It's got a great combination of things. Some of my favorite movie candy would be Sour Patch Kids, chocolate covered peanuts, Whoppers, and at home, I love, before watching a movie or having a marathon, Paul and I have often gone to Rouse's, and they've got Jelly Belly dispensers, and you could get your favorite Jelly Belly jelly beans, your favorite flavors of those. And so we just get popcorn flavor, bubblegum flavor, cinnamon flavor. They've got a Dr. Pepper cola flavor. They got a root beer flavor. And so we get all of those, and we pick out on a whole bag of those sometimes while we're watching TV, or especially movies. So there's my answer on that one. What a great question, but I gotta say, difficult. Derek, at Derek Stark, my good friend, he says, if you could make a network for all cartoons to be played, which cartoons would you choose and why? Now I gotta say, for this, I picked a lot of cartoons, because if you think about it, okay, if you're gonna make a whole network, wouldn't you think you need a lot of programming? I would say yes. So that's why I went a little nuts and wrote down a ton of cartoons. And I would call it KELSI'S Cartoon Circus, because it's got a nice little sound to it with all the k sounds. So, KELSI'S Cartoon Circus. Lots of 90s stuff, of course, because that's my favorite decade for cartoons. Rocko's Modern Life, early Rugrats, Tailspin, Batman the Animated Series, which is one of my favorite shows ever. Justice League the Animated Series, because it's very underrated, but it's super good. People don't ever talk about it enough. It's probably my favorite version of Justice League, to be honest. It's better than any live action stuff I've seen. I would definitely recommend it if you guys haven't checked it out. And if you enjoy Batman the Animated Series but haven't seen Justice League, dive right in, you'll love it. Tiny Toon Adventures. Now, I will say, to me, I love Animaniacs and that it's coming back, but if I had to choose between Tiny Toons and Animaniacs, I would choose Tiny Toons every time. I don't know, I like it a lot. I think it's so clever, and even though a lot of the same people worked on both, I'm just a big Tiny Toons fan. Of course, I would do an old school classic like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I would do Hey Arnold, the Disney cartoon Gargoyles. So dark, so good, so underrated, and a lot of the voice cast of Star Trek The Next Generation, the cast from that show, were doing the voices for a lot of characters on Gargoyles, funnily enough. I don't know, it was like a mini Star Trek TNG reunion on that show or something. Also, I will be doing a future episode about these types of cartoons, and I will definitely go in depth on gargoyles in the future. Then, of course, I got to shout out like an anime type of show, Pokemon. I love that show. 1994 Spider-Man cartoon. I love that. And, okay, then we're going to go to like an After Dark version of the network. So, like, After Dark, when the kiddies have gone to sleep. South Park. I love South Park. Ren and Stimpy, because I do think that parents today wouldn't want their kids to see it. And also, let's see, what else After Dark? Well, that's like the two main ones After Dark, but like if I was going to show movies, I would show The Yellow Submarine, which is a Beatles movie, and it's animated and it's so trippy and weird. I think adults would like that, and also it's just a cool thing to show on the network that you could show like every now and then. And then also Little Nemo, Adventures in Slumberland. It's a very good movie, and it's kind of like anime style a little bit, but not fully. I'm losing my voice over here. I'm doing too many streaming things and content things. I was on a podcast last night. So sorry guys if my voice is sounding weird. I'm trying to keep going. Let's look at the chat. Let's take a look here. Oh, Kat, yes, my peanut butter bars. That's like my number one candy besides Reese's. I have a show and tell. I'll show them on camera when I get done with the segment on the questions segment. I will show them. You're right. I totally forgot to shout them out. It's a brand of candy from a company called... Not to be confused with Atkins, like the diet brand. This company is called Atkinson's. So similar to the diet company, but with a Sons at the end. So Atkinson's. And it's peanut butter bar is the official name of the candy. Lots of people haven't heard of it, but my dad always had these around Halloween time, and it's so good. And yes, as Kat said in the chat, I bought a 5-pound bag of these freaking candies. My dad got half the bag, I got the other half, and I went over there today. And he's the one who influenced me to buy this bag of candy, and yet he didn't eat hardly any of it so far. I still see a whole huge pile. Like, there's no progress made on it at all. What the hell? Dre says Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is his favorite. Claus011, what about Candy Dots? I don't remember those. The ones on paper. I don't remember those at all, Dave. Where was I? Where was I when those candies were popular? I'm sure they're popular today, but I've never heard of them. I gotta sip some water here. All right, so I think that's my answer on the network of cartoons. Such a fun question. Thanks, Derek. And Mayor of Nilbog at PCH Nilbog, and we've got him in the chat right now. He's watching. Thank you for sending a question. I appreciate you. If you could host a King Kong Bundy 555 horror movie night, which 5 movies make your lineup? And, you know, I'm very excited about this question because although you guys are like, Kelsey, all you've been doing is talking horror this whole month. Well, I decided I'm going to talk a little bit different about horror movies and shout out some stuff that I haven't talked about recently. And my whole idea for answering this question is... Basically, I thought, like, okay, so what movies could I do? Like, what's the theme of the marathon? And I thought, okay, what movies would be good to watch with a group of friends? Like, so I kind of themed this whole list around that. So here's the 5 I would do. I would start off with something corny and fun and very 80s, and that, like, lots of people know already. Children of the Corn. He wants you to, Malachi. He wants you to. It's not a good impression at all. The voice is not helping on that. So that would be my number 5 because we start off with something fun. And then I think we would go with In the Mouth of Madness because I love that movie. I really, really love that movie. And then I think I'm going to throw in Jacob's Ladder because it's a super underrated horror movie. It's scary for real. It's got some disturbing imagery, and like tons of people don't know about it. So like with a group of friends, I could like introduce them to it, and it's got a cool little plot and a cool twist. So at the end, they'll be like, "Oh my god," and they'll want to analyze it and talk about it with you forever. So I think that's a gem, and that's why I have to include it on the list. And to go back and to say, why did I include In the Mouth of Madness? Because I also think that's underrated. It's never talked about enough, and it's got a lot of cool visuals, and I think it's entertaining, and nobody would be bored. It's just really well done, a great story. And then the 4th movie we would watch is Troll 2 because it's so much fun. It's another lighter, cornier movie on the list, and it'll lighten things up before the end of the evening, before the fifth movie, and everyone could laugh and joke and like, oh my god, how is this movie real? What were they thinking? It's one of my favorites. It's really not a true horror movie, but it's a fun, campy movie, and it is perfect for like a horror movie marathon. And then finally, I would end with a classic, The Thing, because it's one of the best horror movies of all time. And I think, honestly, like, I didn't choose Halloween because, I feel like The Thing is more universally kind of respected in a way. Like, you don't have to love horror to love The Thing. You can just, like a good movie, because it's got a good story, too. I'm dying here. I'm gonna need a cough drop or something. And my chair's squeaking. Thanks, guys, for sticking with me. Nail said, I didn't know we should only ask one question. Feel free to leave my 20 questions for another time if your voice is suffering. Nails, you had so many good questions, though. I'll answer at least one, and I might save the others for later because I'm dying here. I don't know why my voice is dying. It's never done this before, and I've streamed like 1,000 times. I'm just dying. All right, good guy Dave. What's your top 3 cartoons from the 80s? This was hard because I'm a big 90s cartoon person, but I did find 3 that I really loved. Number 3, The Muppet Babies, because they were so cute, and actually it was a really fun and entertaining show. However, unfortunately, you can't find it anywhere. I would love to rewatch it. You can't find it. You can't stream it anywhere. Second, The Real Ghostbusters. I'm obsessed with that show. I have it on DVD. I used to watch it as a kid. My dad liked it too. And also, I legit still have it. It's a breakfast tray. Because if you guys remember, breakfast trays that you would like, it would be metal. You would fold it out and like you could use it on your lap, like sitting down or in bed or whatever. I had a lot of these growing up, but I had specifically a Real Ghostbusters one. And it's like the Real Ghostbusters on, on the road chasing Slimer, and they're trying to catch him, which really doesn't make sense because in the show they're friends with him, so it's kind of weird, but I like it a lot, and I still have it. It's up on the wall in my room. I love that show, and I love that tray. It's one of my most prized possessions. And then finally, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. He's so cute, and all the characters are so cute and fun. And we could talk more about 80s cartoons because I've got a lot that I actually would love to shout out later. And I'm going to go into that more in a future stream. All right, let's go on to the next question. Nails. Of course, Nails, Wonderful Nails, is in the chat right now. Right now at Nails and NY. Is there a movie that you think is better than the book? This was so hard to answer. I thought about it. I thought about this for a long time, and I was like, what can I say? Like, because usually, like she says, it's the other way around. Like, usually you like the book more than the movie. But honestly, like The Shining, the movie, I almost like it better than the book. They're kind of almost like two separate entities, if that makes sense. Like The Shining, the book, it's totally different. There's a lot of differences, and there's lots of similarities, obviously, too, but it's just completely different. Here comes Jackson again, if you guys hear him in the background. I'm just dying. All right, let's go. I'm going to skip some of Nail's questions just because she said I could, and I'm dying. Have I ever read a book, loved it, and then been disappointed with the movie, or vice versa? Also, I wrote down notes on this one. Let's see. I loved The Godfather, the book, and I loved it more than the movie. I wouldn't say I was disappointed with the movie, but I really thought to myself, how could anyone, and this is crazy because Godfather is a legit classic, but in my mind, it's so confusing. There's so many names. How could you understand it as well without reading the book first? So to me, I love the book, and the movie was it was great, but not as good. No, Nails, you do not talk too much at all. And I love you, and I love your questions. And I really wanted to answer them. I had notes on all of them, but my voice is dying. And finally, this is not a question, but I want to end this little segment with saying, oh my God, Good Guy Dave sent me this today. It's news. Seth Rogen is producing a horror movie called Video Nasty. And basically, it's going to be like a cursed VHS tape pulls him into an 80s slasher movie. How cool is that premise? Oh my God, I'm so excited. And that's the last of the questions and the visuals for tonight. But yeah, that movie seems really cool with Seth Rogen. And some people, I was reading the comments on the tweet, some people said, okay, isn't that just the plot for the movie The Final Girls? If you guys haven't seen it, they do get like sucked into an 80s slasher movie, but it's not from a VHS. I love the idea. I think it could be different enough, this movie with Seth Rogen, if they make him like a VHS collector, because that's the thing. There are people who still collect VHSs, like we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. They go out and buy them. So I think like that'd be a cool like nerdy aspect to the movie, like this like hip VHS collector. You could see like his whole room filled with VHSs. Maybe he throws in like an old one, expecting to go down memory lane to find like an old movie gem, and it's a cursed film and it sucks him in. So like I think it could be different enough. And plus The Final Girls was more of like a thematic thing about strong women in horror movies, and it was also about like a woman and her daughter and their relationship. So like a mother-daughter relationship. That was a big part of the movie. So this could be similar, but I still think the plot is going to be different enough to where it can stand alone and be way unique compared to The Final Girls. I do recommend The Final Girls, though. So, that was it for all the graphics. That was it for all the questions. Hope you guys enjoyed my answers. I know I went long, but man, it was so much fun chatting with you. Let me check on some of the chat right here before I go. I don't want to ignore any of you. Oh yeah, and like Kat reminded me, the 5-pound bag of candy that I bought that I forgot to shout out was these peanut butter bars. If you guys see it, you see like they get like they're hard, they get cracks in them, but they're really good. They're crunchy. There's the logo, the Atkinson's logo. It's really good. Like I'll unwrap one so you guys can see. Let's see. Whoa. See, look at that. Crunchy goodness. Crunchy goodness. I don't know why I just made that song up, but it was fun. So yeah, 5 pounds of it, I bought it. Now I've got 2.5 pounds. I've eaten about, not even a pound. I've eaten like probably, can I even say I've eaten 40? I've got to get on eating more before like they go stale or something, because I don't want to waste them. They are so good. They really are like my old school favorite. So I would say like Reese's and peanut butter bars, neck and neck, tied. And thanks guys for bearing with my graphics being up all the time. Usually like on my other streams, I have like a little window where you could see me, but I liked this one to have the graphics up full so that you guys knew what topic I was on and I could look at my notes and get a little break off camera a little while. But yeah, for most of my Q&As and other shows, I'll be on screen even with graphics. But this one I was like, I quickly put together the graphics, so I was like, I'm just going to be off camera for that. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. Nails said, I better eat that peanut butter bar as soon as I'm done. I will, because I want some treats after this, for sure. I just had dinner right before I went on. It was like pasta. It was very good. But now I need something sweet. I got a crazy sweet tooth. And as I always tell Paul, I need a different flavor. I need a different taste. And so that's what the peanut butter bar will do for me. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I know it's been a long stream. I really got to shout out Nails. Thanks so much, Nails, for bringing other people into the chat, too. We got Dre. We got Claus. We got my great friend Catherine in the chat. Thanks, Kat. You're the best. I can't believe you watched this whole thing. I really love you. I appreciate you. Can't wait to do more streaming content and produced content with Kat. Look out for that in the future, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of projects together. And like I told you guys in the beginning, look out during Christmas time. There'll be some fun thematic stuff around then. Kat says, I deserve the sweets I'm going to eat because the stream was good. Thanks, Kat. You're the best. And thanks to all of you guys, especially you guys that I didn't get a chance to shout out. Head Cheese, Mayor of Nilbog, all kinds of people in the chat. Robbie's in the chat. Thanks, all you guys. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Camelotus, thank you. Shino Phoenix, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone. Really, I really appreciate it. I think I got everybody now, right? If I forgot you, Taker Kid, thank you, Taker Kid. Double AUB, thank you. You guys rock. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this stream, please give me a follow if you aren't already following. Please check out my stream on Sunday. That's going to be the first official 90s family movie stream where I'm going to be doing my top 10. Top 10. It was hard to pick, but it was a lot of fun. And it's not just going to be opinion, it's going to be a lot of facts too. And also, Mayor of Nilbog says he's going to go have some popcorn. I love popcorn. I'm jelly. So I'm not going to have popcorn tonight, but maybe this weekend. Ooh, gave me a good idea there. So thanks again, guys. You guys rock. I had so much fun talking with you. The chat really makes it even better. It's just so much fun. Until next time, again, share this with any friends you think might enjoy nostalgic pop culture, 80s, 90s. I don't just talk 90s, I talk 80s too, and even 70s. I like a lot of 70s movies, actually, and 60s too. I'm a big Beatles fan, which is totally 60s. So yeah, we're going to discuss lots more than just 90s on the channel, but I will say for the upcoming future, it will be kind of 90s heavy, but there'll be some other stuff sprinkled in between. So if you want to share, that would be great. I'd appreciate it a lot, and that's it for me. Have a good night, guys. Thanks again.